Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel. My name is Enrique. Thank you so much for watching. Today we're going to talk to Shayne from Serenity Capital. This is one of my favorite projects in all of DeFi, and I am a holder, so keep that in mind. But look guys, the last time that we covered this project on the channel was right before they were migrating over to Ethereum. It did a ton for the price action. It did wonders for it actually. And now they are about to move to Avalanche as well, adding the Avalanche ecosystem into the Serenity Capital family. And they have other announcements coming up as well that we're going to cover on today's interview. They also have some really cool things that they're adding to the protocol. This turbo boost thing that's really cool. I'll let Shayne talk about it. They are about to add a bot platform mechanism, which they are very bullish on, which sounds amazing. They just added some other revenue streams as well that Shayne's going to tell us about. And he's also going to walk us through their own version of Hort's LMS system. So guys, there's a lot to cover. So let's get into it and talk to Shayne. Shayne, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining the channel.
Hey, man. Nice to be here, bro.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to talking to you all weekend. Looks like there is a lot going on with Serenity Capital. And before we jump into it, man, do you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, man. So, I'm Shayne, better known on Discord as Madrid22. I'm the team lead. So, basically everything flows through me. I've been in crypto for about 7 years now. Been running my own business for about 7 years as well. And just generally just a business guy. And so I'm happy to be taking that business knowledge here to DeFi.
Yeah, man. And from our conversations, you definitely have shown that you're putting your business experience into play, running this protocol. Guys, we talked about this in other AMAs and in the past. It just seems to be kind of the new trend that we're noticing, that those that are more experienced in kind of like the real life, that experience really does seem to play out very nicely when it comes to running these protocols. So it's been really good to see that. And I think it shows, man. I think it shows a lot, Shayne. I've noticed that even before you and I had started talking, you guys really were built in a way to be sustainable and to put that first. And it's been really obvious. I noticed just from looking at the numbers, when you and I first talked about a month or maybe 6 weeks ago, your TVL was like a little bit south of 50K. And now here we are. And if I do a little screen share, we can see that just on the FTM side alone, you're almost at 400. You're at 465K, and then on the Ethereum side, you're at almost 125K. So that puts you, pretty close to almost 600K. That's a big jump in a little bit of amount of time. To what do you attribute such growth, man?
Yeah, so I think that it really goes to the point of we focused on the stability and the sustainability of the protocol first and foremost. So, we made the sacrifice of not getting in a huge amount of TVL right off the jump so that we could build something that was actually going to be realistic and last. And so now you're seeing all the work that we've been putting in over the past 6-7 months kind of just come into fruition all at the same time. And I wouldn't suspect, I wouldn't bet against us making that same kind of jump here if we talk in another month. So.
No. I would not bet on that against that at all. And just real quick before we jump into some of the things that are coming up, can you tell us a little bit about your inverted emission schedule? I know I talked about this on my channel in the past, but if you don't mind just giving us a quick run through.
Yeah. So at the start of the protocol, the emission schedule or the emission rate of the tokens from the jar in the boardroom started off very slowly. And as more tokens are emitted, it slowly ramps up to a crest or a bell curve. That's completely opposite of traditional tomb forks, where they start up really high and then they just always drift down. Which is another cool thing, is because we actually have a burn feature in our contracts, so that once the APRs have ridden up to a certain crest, the community we can burn our tokens to keep the APR at a high rate versus allowing it to go down.
And I think that also helped out a ton, because early on, I know that volume wasn't very high, and yet you guys were still able to somehow sustain health. and I thought that was odd. And I think we're going to dig into a couple of the other reasons why I think you guys have been able to do that. But yeah, very cool to see that. All right, Shane. So it looks like there's a big announcement coming up. I guess you guys already announced it, but there's a big move coming up on Friday the 12th. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. So we will officially be launching our AVAX expansion. So that will be on the 12th. Friday is when we're going to be launching our pre-sale. So you're going to be able to buy our Serene tokens 1-to-1 with ETH, avoid price impact. So it'll be a nice discount for people that want to get involved in the ecosystem and they want to participate. So really excited to be going to AVAX. We're on Phantom, we're on ETH, and the next door we're kicking in is going to be AVAX, and we're coming strong.
Fantastic, man. That's really exciting. I couldn't help but notice it did a lot for your price action when you moved over to Ethereum. Do you expect something similar as far as price action when you move over to Avalanche?
I do. Yeah, I do. I actually expect it to be more than that. I set our standards and expectations quite high, and
wow.
It just takes certain people being able to notice what we have and what we're building and realize that you can invest with us and go to sleep and not wake up and your money be gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to some significant price appreciation once this AVAX launch takes off. It's a lot of money there.
There is, and it helps. Obviously, it's going to stabilize the protocol to have yet another ecosystem to add to the Serenity Capital family. So, did you notice a lot more as far as A, stability, and B, just daily volume when you went over to Ethereum?
Yes, I would say that the volume at least did about a 3 to 4x just going to Ethereum, and that's just getting a lot of the players on Ethereum are a lot more laid back and don't really do that many transactions in a day or even in a week. So if we got that much of an increase in volume moving to ETH, I definitely expect AVAX and some of these other chains, it's gonna go ballistic.
No, I get it, and I just laugh because I Phantom and I love Phantom. I love the Phantom ecosystem, man, but they're just a little too intense at times. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
No, I get that. So Shane, tell me about your future plans. It looks like there's a bit more as far as expansions in the roadmap. Polygon, Optimism, Binance Smart Chain. I mean, there is a lot going on there. I think I can, even though I'm not an NFT guy or a big Ethereum guy, I can kind of see why it would make a ton of sense for you guys to do this with Optimism, due to the fact that you're trying to obviously be with the L2 as well. Since you plan to do so much growth with Ethereum, I'm guessing that's a big piece driving that, or am I missing something?
Yeah, that's really the main focal point. We are tying ourselves to be an Ethereum centralized, focused ecosystem. We definitely think Ethereum is the future for crypto and DeFi, and we've tied ourselves with that from the very beginning because we believed in Ethereum very, very much so. And I think that ETH proved that by pulling Bitcoin up out of the dump and reminded Bitcoin that it's supposed to be making the run before ETH does.
We don't want to upset our Bitcoin maxis out there, Shane. So
No,
but I see what you're saying. And yeah, because I remember I asked you this when we first talked 6 weeks ago or whatever it was. I asked you if you were concerned about the fact that for a Tomb fork, it's hard to be on the Ethereum network because of the fees, and you're like, not at all. That's the least of my concerns. So it's really interesting to see how a lot of the things that you predicted you're actually right on. And we'll see how much changes or gets better or doesn't after the merge. But yeah, a lot of cool, exciting stuff. But you also have Polygon. You also have Binance Smart Chain coming up real soon. Can you tell me a little bit about what's driving those two key pieces, and what would you state as far as like what you predict? Which one will be next? How are you going to decide that?
Yeah, so the Polygon move will basically be the reasoning behind that is Polygon is another up and coming chain that's getting a lot of attention. I mean, Coca-Cola is just now launching, NFTs on Polygon. You've got a lot of MMF. You've got a lot of big projects that are moving to Polygon. And as far as BSC, just liquidity is king, right? So there's a lot of money on BSC. We want to expose our ecosystem to a lot of people. Even though we're on Phantom and people are able to bridge, there are a lot of people that just stay in their niche and they prefer to stay on those particular chains. And so we want to expose ourselves to as many investors as possible without diluting our shares. Like I said before, there's only 10,000 Pebble shares, and there will only ever be 10,000. So if we're on 10 chains, you can only have 1,000 shares per chain, which is going to be
my bad.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot to bring that up. That's like one of the big key pieces to why I love this protocol so much. I mean, only 10,000 share tokens, and it's not even 10,000, right, Shane? Because the DAO controls, I think, like 2,100 of them or something, or 2,200. Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah. So just think about that, guys. That's huge. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned Polygon. I think they also have a huge partnership with Disney now. And then you did touch on the Binance Smart Chain, the fact that all the liquidity seems to be there these days, but you never know. That could change in 6 months, and looks like you guys will be positioned if that change happens, right? So that's really cool. So you were telling me a little bit about the fact that what's going to drive those initiatives and timing and who's next. You're thinking about maybe putting that up for a vote for those that own Pebble. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we're going to implement a governance system. So that basically we're going to put these 3 next chains. Up to this point, the team has made the decision on what the stepping stones needed to be. From this point, we can make an advisement, but we think that regardless of which chain we go to, it's going to be a success. So we're going to put it up for a snapshot vote. We're going to allow Pebble holders to be able to basically determine which chain we go to next. And I think that that's going to speak volumes, because if you've got your shareholders voting for certain chains, they may have a lot of their money on those chains, and they might be steering it to that direction. So
got it.
Let the Pebble holders decide.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a really cool thing. Tell me about this Turbo Boost. What is this all about?
Yeah. So another awesome thing that I love about our protocol, and it goes back to the stability and the sustainability that we focused on to begin with. So we have the ability right now. We've only got a very small percentage going to the farms, and that's still paying out a very, very nice APR, over 1% on both of the LP farms in the beach currently, with us only allocating a small portion. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to develop an automated system that is essentially going to 5x, or basically 5 times the APRs on both the LP farms and the beaches at a random time once a week for 3 to 6 hours. So the algorithm will make it random between 3 and 6 hours, and it will do it on a random day. And
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. That is a lot of fun. All right. And completely random. Like when you say random, what does that mean? Like, how are you going to figure that out? Is it just some kind of mechanism that you embed it? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So it's going to take some magic coding, but it's basically just going to basically pick random times, just kind of like a Wheel of Fortune thing. And we're looking to do that. I would really like to do that more than 1 time a week. I'd almost like to do it every day, just at a random time. But we're very smart.
That'd be great.
With everything we're doing, we're very meticulous in everything that we do. So we definitely want to be very observant of the AVAX expansions and everything, boosting those farms across all the chains. We've got to make sure that we do things the right way. So I would always rather start slow and crank it up than start out full steam and then be like, oh man, we messed up. So definitely look for me to be trying to do this more than once a week, but at minimum once a week 5x boost is going to be really nice for our LP holders.
Well, that's really cool. Now, speaking of magic code, let's talk about what you guys have been doing. You've talked to me about this a little bit, but I don't completely understand it. You just told me that the way that you guys manage Serene, and make sure that you're above peg as much as possible is through some kind of like manual magic kind of code that you brought up earlier, but that you guys have that's in some ways similar to what Horde's doing. But it's all your code, right? It's all your process, and it's got some parts of it are automated, some parts are manual. But it seems to have worked really, really well for you guys. You guys have missed very few epochs, even when you guys had that low TBL and your volume was crazy low. You guys still had a crazy high percentage of epochs that you did not miss. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and why it's been so effective?
Yeah, so we call it a proactive liquidity manager, right? Basically, it's designed to keep the protocol in a healthy state. So keeping us above TWAP so that our Pebble holders are getting their rewards. So effectively, it senses when we drop below a certain peg ratio, does buybacks, and same with when it goes over. So it's been very effective. If you look at our price compared to Ethereum, it is almost a straight line across the charts. And that is what a Singrich protocol is supposed to look like. Not huge spike ups, not huge spike downs. That is how you become a stable coin. And that's effectively what we're becoming is an effective stable coin.
Exactly. It's an effective stable coin pegged to ETH, right? Because it has been, so ETH can be very volatile. So then Serene becomes volatile, but yes, it's been stable as far as being pegged to Ethereum, and it's been crazy. I've been watching it every day, and it really has been very, very effective. So that's really, really cool, man. So you guys have recently used so it's helped you a lot as far as being able to keep the protocol healthy, which is really, really cool. And I guess that's one of the things that many people like about Horde is that it's been a LMS system. It's been a LMS has been able to keep them very, very healthy. So it sounds like it's the same for you guys as far as, financial health. It's been able to help out with that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And you always want to be as a protocol owner or a development team, you want to be proactive to problems. You don't want to just sit back and wait for things to kind of fall apart. So you want your investors to have confidence that we're going to do everything we can and have the ability to and have implemented methods and strategies that are going to protect their investments to the best of our abilities, at least.
Very cool. Sounds great. Speaking of ways to generate revenue for the protocol, you guys recently used some of your profits to purchase some ASIC miners, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has that been going as you expected?
Yeah. That's been going good. Started mining 2 or 3 weeks ago. I haven't checked to see how much we've mined. But yeah, so that was the first thing. I mean, we immediately, once our NFT sales went live, we instantly delivered on what we said we were going to do with those funds. And so the protocol now has protocol-owned ASIC miners mining Bitcoin.
Nice. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's a great short, mid, long-term investment. So that's awesome. That's really good to see. And then Shayne, can you tell us about this bot platform?
Yeah, so we are in negotiations and basically closing in on obtaining a full-fledged bot platform similar to like Gunthy gun bots and CX trading bots that basically is being used right now to run for hedge funds at the moment. So we think that is going to be an astronomical revenue stream when you're talking about having multiple hedge funds using their money to buy our bots, use our bots. It's going to be an insane acquisition. So
yeah, so that I find this very interesting because look, guys, one of the reasons why they're called Serenity Capital, right? They didn't go with a name like Finance, like all the other Tomb forks do, is because of the fact they were trying to be so much more than just a Tomb fork, but they were trying to do in a way to where something like this, the bot platform it kind of comes into play with everything else. So it seems like you guys have the end in mind. And from the very start, you're looking to kind of grow this way slowly but surely to the point where you become so much more than just a Tomb fork, but you use all these different revenue streams to support the Tomb fork and to support the protocol and be so much more. So it's really cool to see how everything's kind of coming into play little by little.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I did want to. So looking at your, so here we have FTM, and then here we have Ethereum, but here comes Avalanche, and I heard that UI is going to be really, really cool looking.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be beautiful, man. So we're going to actually, our UIs are going to be customized per chain. So the Ethereum will stay this way. The Phantom one, we are actually working on changing the Phantom UI. And then Avalanche is going to have we'll have the first customized UI. So every time you swap through the different chains, you're going to have a beautiful, beautiful looking background. It's going to look really great.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And is there a certain time on Friday?
7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. And what have we missed anything else, Shane, that you wanted to cover today?
No, I think that we've covered most of what I can divulge right now. We've got Tetris coming out. You know, we've came out with our Serenity Arcade. So we've got Serenity Invaders, Space Invaders, and Tetris will be done here shortly. Maybe even in time for the AVAX launch. So we're just building a lot of stuff, man. We're not going to stop.
How popular has that Invader game been? Space Invader game?
It's been pretty intense. I think we had like 260 submissions from last week because we're doing the weekly competitions for, you know, the top 3 that get the high score, which is insane, you know, to have people playing that much. I'm actually a little surprised that people like it that much. And I think, honestly, people are you're going to see some crazy numbers for Tetris too.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love these games? I mean, who didn't grow up playing these games? So yeah, I mean, it's funny, man. My son and I were playing Legend of Zelda and Tecmo Bowl last night. It's the old school games are the best ones, man.
Yeah.
So very cool. So guys, check out Serenity Capital. I will have all the links below. If you even want to play some games, it looks like that's the place to be. What are the prices like? What did first place get?
First place got $150 in Pebble and 65 Serene. So he spent 50 cents to play Serenity Invaders, and he won over $200.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Do you guys have a rule that the same guy can't win more than once? Because what if he's really, really, really good and he just like monopolizes all the wins?
We haven't done that yet. We don't let one person take all 3 spots. So if you won at one spot, then, you know, you obviously can't win second and third. I think we'll play it by ear. If we see the same guy winning every week, we might have to say, like, you know, you got to take like a week off.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Let some other people get some love.
Fair enough. In every neighborhood growing up, there's always that one kid that was just sick good at one game. You're just like, he was unbeatable. So yeah, we don't want to have that. We don't. Well, I'm gonna have to get in there when Tetris. What's that?
You eventually stop calling him over for game night.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I will get in there and play Tetris. I love me some Tetris, that's for sure.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, Shane. Well, thanks so much for the time. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.